When should you sell your stocks? Maybe when this happens. So that's why I'm always asked the question, when should you sell your stock? Yeah man, come in. Wagwan bro, everything good? Demi, from the future? How you look so rich, brother? Yeah man, you know, I think it's time you should sell your stocks, you know? Enjoy some of the finer things in life. That's a better sign than nothing, right? Sometimes it isn't so obvious, but that is what we're going to discuss in this video today. We're just going to talk about when should you sell your stocks. Before we even go into the video, I know you want to do it. I know you want to do it so bad that your fingers are itching you, that your eyes are pulping on that like button. Just press it, give this video a like so we can begin. Wagwan future millionaires, my name is Demetress Fairman. So I have been investing for a while now, and on your investing journey, there comes a time when you should ask the question, when should I sell? So while doing this video, the audio got messed up because my neck decided that it's not big enough, so it's going to grow bigger to cover up the mic, and when you cover up the mic, everything kind of sound muffled. So for some parts of this video, I'll be doing a voice over. So if it sound like them old time or look like the old time karate movie where the people, the mouth that move left the words, don't say nothing, just because I do a voiceover, but the knowledge is still there. So just watch the video and learn from it as best as possible, and thanks for understanding. If you're seeing a stock trending down and you don't know what to do, the questions come up in your head, how should I sell? When should I sell? I'm so confused, I don't know what to do. Don't get a headache now like Psyduck in Pokemon, but I have curated 5 steps or 5 tips which you guys can use to help aid in your selling of your stocks. So stay tuned. Tip number 1 is you might want to sell when there is market uncertainty, which causes a loss in profitability. For example, a local company is heavily invested in tourism, and due to the illness, their long-term and short-term profitability might be uncertain. But if you have a company that is in manufacturing, well, the illness doesn't really affect them because, people have to eat food, right? And then their future might seem more clear or more predictable compared to that tourism-heavy company. Look for companies with a long-term profit strategy. Companies that have an increasing EPS, which stands for earnings per share. EPS indicates how much money a company makes per share of that stock. If a company has a decreasing EPS, then that is a sign that you should look out for. Plus, just use simple signs like if you see a product that has a reduction in sales or people just stop buying it completely because of popularity or moral standpoints, then use that as a reference to indicate that their profits might be going down. Tip number 2 is look for when a stock becomes excessively expensive. One example in our market would be Palace Amusement. I don't own this stock, nor have I researched it or invested in it at all, but when this stock was traded in the $1,000 mark or even higher, if I were to invest in that stock, then I would look to take my profits in that ridiculously high range. Now the illness come and a lot of people are selling it, therefore the stock price is kind of going down a lot. So people are waiting on the sidelines to get a better or fair valuation of that stock before they buy again. You could also look into a company's price to earnings ratio, which is PE ratio. And in Jamaica, the PE ratio generally trends between 10 to 20 times. If this stock PE goes above 30 times, then we can start to look for warning signs. If a PE is high, that means it's generally an overpriced stock. So basically, if a price is inflating of a stock and you have no reason or no data to justify that raise in PE, then it's generally a good time to cut your losses, get ready to sign over some affairs and sell off a piece of them. Start there. Tip 3 is going to be you made a mistake. We all do this. We all see somebody popular talking about a stock and we don't do any research and we basically impulse buy. Take my money. And yeah, this is more common than we actually think, because this happened to me a lot. Generally, we just see a video and somebody talking about the stock. I'm gonna do no research and we just invest.
But guess what? It is something that young investors have to go through.
Don't worry, you will grow one day, young grasshopper. The best thing you can do is try to exit the stock or come up with an exit
Decision, and try to do this before you accumulate loss.
because if you can't see where it makes any sense
To keep the stock, then the best thing you can do is
Let it go, let it go.
tip number 4 is going to be you need the money. It's my money and I need it now.
we all have emergencies, and who am I to tell you that
Your emergency isn't important. Things come up and emergencies come up.
and sometimes, even though we don't want to, sometimes we have
To dig into our investment money. While this isn't wise, sometimes we just have to do what we have to do. What we should do instead is that if we think
think we're using all of our capital to investments, then maybe we should just use a budget and learn how to
split that capital
so that you can have a percentage
for investment,
and a percentage for an emergency fund.
and this is where an emergency fund will come into play, because then you can use that emergency fund for your emergencies. That way your investments can just compound and grow forever and you don't have to touch it.
Tip number 5, and this is going to be a tip that is close to me, is sell when a company decides to cut its
Dividends. Everybody knows that I'm a dividend investor and I love getting my money each and every month. But if you mess with my money, I have a set of skills that I've acquired over a long career, skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you give me my money, that will be the end of it. But if you take my dividends, I will pursue you, I will find you, and I will kill you.
This is every time I say this word, it just can't come out right. This is one of the most certain
Ways
for dividend investors to keep track of which
companies to hold or to sell. Alright people, what go on? So this week comments section is going to be from JJ Hungry Boys, and this comment basically said schools should hire you to teach business subjects. I love that comment because it shows that the channel is just a hub for learning and improving yourself regardless of any aspect in life that you are at. If you're just learning, you can be here. If you're somebody who knows their thing and have experience, you can also stay here and impart your knowledge to other people. So I'm glad that people can see the channel as a hub for learning and improving themselves. So yes, I'm not a teacher, I'm gonna have the skills, but I just want to teach people through experience. So thanks for leaving that comment, and guys, just leave some good comments down below, because next week you can be featured on the comment spotlight section. And yeah, we get a new haircut because we couldn't bother with the long hair any longer. We're not trying to play powers, but yo, back to the video. Dividends to create a passive lifestyle for us. We just want our dividends to cover our
rent, light bill,
all of our bills.
so when a stock
Comes dangerously close to cutting its dividends, then it's time to say bye-bye.
even though I'm giving you
You these tips, they aren't a definitive course of action. We will be wrong, and most of the times we'll make some mistakes that are bound to happen.
but this is why we research
And this is why we put the effort
into buying something
that is
right for us. We buy things
that we understand. And yes,
even though we do our research, mistakes will
come along
the line, but that is what makes the journey.
great, right? It makes the process nice because
We can laugh and say, yo, I can't believe me do some crazy crap back in the past.
so that's it, future millionaires. Thank you for watching. Thank you for smashing that like button.
And see you guys next Sunday.
Sunday, and until then, happy investing.